Good morning and welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. We're taking you behind the opening bell with Ervin. He's the CEO of Reality Shares. They rung the opening bell this morning at the MarketSite. Eric, it's great to have you back with us at MarketSite, and some big things going on. You rang the opening bell today for Reality Shares Nasdaq Next Gen Economy ETF. That's ticker BLCN, launched back in January. But can you tell us about the product?
Sure. So what we did was we wanted to build an index that could track all of the blockchain-related companies, the companies that are really innovating in the blockchain technology. We're huge believers that this could be one of the biggest innovations since the internet, really, and more companies are using it in their business, but the way to capture that is a little uncertain. So what we do is we score every company in 7 different categories and then come up with an ultimate blockchain score. And we partnered with the Nasdaq on the index side in order to develop a really robust process for that, and then rank those companies based on that blockchain score and only select those companies that have a high enough score to make it into the ETF.
Well, it seems like investors agree. You accumulated over 100 million in assets in just 10 days. That's fantastic for particularly a new launch in this environment. Yeah. So from your perspective, why would you say this launch is so successful?
Well, I think the market really recognizes just how valuable blockchain could be as a potential, and really as they think about it, there's either the one extreme where you invest in cryptocurrencies and that's far too volatile for a lot of people, but then there's this in-between stage where the infrastructure, investing in the businesses that are creating the infrastructure and using the infrastructure, that's where a lot of people view the big investment opportunities. So I think there was this pent-up demand for a way to invest in blockchain without investing in cryptocurrencies, and it just we saw that overwhelming demand kind of come into the ETF right away.
I don't think investors understand that it's not just cryptocurrency. It's just a small fraction of it when it touches every single industry or has the potential to do so.
Yeah. I often say it's think of blockchain as the technology, like internet was the technology, and email was really the first killer app that was built on the internet that allowed for the mainstream user to understand the internet. The same thing is true for blockchain. So that's the underlying technology, and Bitcoin was just really the first killer app that was built on that blockchain technology.
So last week you launched a blockchain ETF focused on China. That's ticker BCNA. What was the impetus behind this product? Why China?
Yes, this comes to a lot of people's shock, is China has actually outfiled patents by almost 3 to 1. So there's more Chinese patents issued than the U.S. company patents by a factor of 3. The Chinese government is all in on blockchain. In fact, every 5 years, the Chinese government will come up with a 5-year economic plan, and blockchain has a huge role to play in this 5-year plan of the Chinese government. They're investing billions of dollars into infrastructure, into actual development facilities for blockchain-related companies to go into, and that's where all the innovation is happening. But most investors can't get access to the A-shares in China, so we partnered with some different Chinese issuers and different banks in order to offer that same thing to U.S.-based investors.
Right, because A-shares trade differently than stocks would on the U.S. exchanges.
Yeah, until recently, if you look at the entire global ETF assets under management, there's only about 20% of all of those Chinese ETFs that are actually allocated to mainland China. China is the second largest stock market in the world, and yet it's the most underinvested by the rest of the global society because we haven't been able to get access to that market, again, because it's kind of a capital constrained, controlled environment. So that we're really proud of.
So what's your outlook going forward with blockchain and cryptocurrency? We touched on that a bit, and how do you see Reality Shares' role evolving as these technologies evolve?
We're all in on blockchain. We really, I grew up kind of in the technology space as well, and so when I first learned about this technology, I really did get that sense that, gosh, this could be a whole nother internet opportunity here. And so what are all the different ways to play it? So from the ETF's perspective, there's now Blockchain Global, BLCN, and then Blockchain China, which is BCNA. But then also, what can we do in order to develop a cryptocurrency offering for individual investors? And so that's where we're really focused right now. We also have a venture capital fund that invests in early stage blockchain related businesses. So again, kind of we're all in on blockchain in a big way. We have a board of advisors that's second to none in the industry, so very, very high degree of expertise on the technology side of things, as well as on the business side of things. So it's just, it's too big of an innovation to not invest in, right?
Well, thank you very much for joining us at
Thank
MarketSite. It was great to see you again. And thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.